Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal one day at a time. We're going to talk about sister wives. KODY Brown, the head of the household. At first, he had married his first wife. It was just the two of them, legally married. And then KODY gets this idea like, hey, why don't we have a polyamorous relationship? So he probably somehow talked her into it. I don't believe she was completely open to it at first. But she wanted to make her man happy, and maybe thought, and I'm not judging whether people should or shouldn't do that. But she was probably thinking, okay, he gave a good spiel. Maybe she can help out with the kids and we can be friends and just this great big happy family. Usually when you have larger families, there's also different personalities, a lot more time commitments. So they can be pretty difficult. And also jealousy. They had to work through that and agree to it. So they're kind of going along. And at the beginning, if you notice, if you've ever watched that series, as time goes on, they keep little things come up, and then KODY has these needs. 2 wives is not enough, so now we got to add another one. Sometimes it's for the shock and awe, like, you have how many wives? And just certain needs or certain challenges. At least they agree to it, where it's not like cheating behind somebody's back, and they kind of work things out. That's pretty much the way that those could work if you are in that kind of relationship. But cheating often destroys monogamous relationships because it's kind of an agreement that you guys have. It's a trust that's broken. So at least the trust isn't being broken if you agree to have other partners. But it's KODY gets the women. I don't believe the women are fooling around with each other. So it's KODY's needs are pretty much met every night if he so chooses. And then the women have to agree to go without somebody to cuddle with or make love to. And so that's a sacrifice on their part. He's really not sacrificing. He's taking what he can get and expecting everybody else to be okay with it. So it's self-serving to him. He does spend a certain amount of time with the individual wives, because if he doesn't do that, then he doesn't have that supply when he needs it. So he has to give some time to them, just like our narcissist will give us some time. And we're like, oh, they're so sweet. No, they're holding on to their supply so they don't lose it. It's just like an obligation. Like, there might be times KODY, the husband, didn't want to spend it with wife number 2, but he's like, man, that was the agreement. She does take care of the kids, or she's the best cook, or brings in the most money. So they're going through it and they're adding on, and then he has a 4th wife added on, Robin, and she was seen as like the favorite. He did start spending more time with her than the other wives. The way he talked was horrendous. He would have rages, and he just had to have that control. And they had talked about the COVID rules that he had made, and they called it KODY's 10 commandments. And there was a time where one of the wives was asking about, how can we handle Christmas, because, we're trying to stay safe, but she's asking Robin, the 4th wife, do you agree to follow the rules, or just kind of reassuring herself that we're all on the same page. And Robin had like referred it over to KODY, because it's kind of like I'm not allowed to speak for myself. So she was, in a sense, being respectful, but she also lost herself in that. She wasn't able to feel comfortable enough to talk to the person who's talking to her. So KODY, the husband, gets all ticked off, and he starts going into this fit, that he's like, there's no head wife, there's no head sister wife, it's him. So all of them, all 4 of them are to be beneath him. And he took such offense to that. And it's also got to be hard too on the first wife, that she had agreed, all right, we'll add on, we'll do this to make you happy. And in the end, she had to, you can only legally be married to one person, and he wanted to adopt, I believe, Robin's child. And in order to do that, he had to marry Robin to legally adopt the child. But he took away the legal marriage from the first wife. And she went into this as that was her husband. And then he took that away. And the devaluation stage, it's kind of odd too. If you look at the pattern on how I'm not too sure on the middle two, but it's pretty close on the middle two on the devaluation stage, how it trickles down. So the longer they were with the person, the more damage was done. The last one is a favorite, but right now, just the way he talked to her about those COVID rules and screaming at her, and she was trying to be polite. And that's where the devaluation stage can just come at just an instant. Sometimes they hold grudges. So maybe he's going to hold a grudge against Robin, thinking, she's always going to undermine him, even though she was trying to, let him speak, being the submissive one. So sometimes the traits that they like, they'll twist around. Like if she was submissive, he liked that, and she's trying to do that. It's taken wrong sometimes. They don't process things the right way. They can't always see when we're trying to be respectful, and we get the brunt of it. And just how dysfunctional it trickled into the families. The families were one had stated that they're happier when he's not around, because he's probably dysfunctional. He has like a control freak, all these rules, and the women are not allowed to alter those rules or discuss it. Once he says it, it's his way or the highway. And I just thought it was kind of interesting to give us like a little look at the longer, the first wife was with him the longest, the second one was the second longest, and the destruction that comes. So if you think about getting back with your narcissist, it's just a matter of time. And you would think with four wives, he's like, what other needs are you not getting? And granted, it's got to be hard to get everything worked out between everybody, because there is a lot of people. It's like, are a lot of people. I'm a teacher. So if he lays down the law, basically it should be fine from his perspective, not from the women, because they're probably a little irritated that they can't say what they want and have some of their needs honored. But if he creates this situation where he's got four women, he's got lots of kids, he's got the law laid down to where everybody's bowing down to him, what more does he want? And that's why the narcissist always needs more. They're never happy with what they have, and they discard, they break promises. He stopped honoring certain aspects of relationships, just decided he didn't want to ever sleep with the first wife again, but she's still required to be his wife. And if you think about it, if you have sexual dysfunction or prostate problems, or there's something going on, but if you set it up to where you don't even necessarily have to have sex, but it sounds like they're not even cuddling, or I don't know, making out a little bit, to where that's all taken from her. And it's harder when you're looking at the other three wives and they're intimate with him still. So it's not like a sexual dysfunction. It's almost like a disgust for her. And because he is still attracted, sexually active, but not with her. And the devaluation, putting the women against each other, creating such an unhealthy environment to where the women can't even work things out. He has to have the final say in it. He doesn't care about their needs. He doesn't try to keep the balance. He shuts them up. And you know, you can see a lot of times that they're trying to discuss things. They're walking on eggshells. They kind of feel like they still have to stroke his ego when you know, they're not really bad mouthing him until near the end. That's like that reactive abuse when we react like we're in such a bad situation that now they're starting to talk. You know, for the longest time, they didn't say anything negative. They were really building him up. And so he's starting to like lose his cool. So that's when the narcissistic rages are going to happen more, because he's lost so much of the control. And that's what this is all about. If you look at just how dismissive he can be to their needs, you know, it comes across as, you know, what a great guy. He's making sure each one has a certain amount of time. But, you know, like one, he would never shower at her house. It was just like really odd. So it's like, did he ever feel at home at that place if he's not showering when he goes over there? And just, you know, just the dysfunction that we can see from that kind of explains how the cycle of narcissism goes. The kids are feeling it. They don't even want dad around as much. And that's why if you stay with a narcissist and you have children, it's very hard on the kids. They're going to start to isolate themselves. So they'll I don't know. I'd like to say read a book, probably play video games in their room. You know, and you know, there's things that go along with that. Some kids get so stressed, they might have bedwetting problems, and an inability to communicate with their needs out of fear of getting shot down or yelled at or scolded. And it's just such a bad cycle. So if you're hurting and wanting this person back, you know, maybe it was a blessing that things fell apart, you know, because, you know, you have one life to live. And I'm not going to lie, I know it hurts. Like I have coped with the situation, but the damage that it does still gives you flashbacks. Sometimes it might give you nightmares. I get those shock waves. And it's not something that you can 100% control. You can try to redirect it. Today was not a good day for me. Last couple days, I've just been in like a slump because I know what it's like. My slump is more physical. So first you're going to go through your emotional stuff where you're crying and bargaining and wanting to get back with them, or just to figure out or to get closure. Some of you want revenge. But after that, you've been so wrapped up in this crap for so long that physically it hurts. And it's a very weird sensation to where you just, you know, there's days I wake up and I'm like, today is a great day. I'm going to take my shower, walk the dog, get some coffee. And then that body just feels off. You know, it changes, you know, our brain chemistry, you know, and our brain is responsible for so many different things, like when we're hungry, our sexual drive, and you know, if we're not getting the right kind of sleep, that can lead to more depression or sexual dysfunction or lack of desire, lower libido, just out of loving someone. So if you're an empathetic person, you know the power of love. You know what real love is. So love yourself first, and give your love to those who appreciate it and appreciate the love you can give yourself. And I know that's hard to do sometimes because we're focusing on the outside, the person that we wanted, whether it's anger towards them or longing for them, but focus on what matters most. You're not with them. So it's not like the, you know, how I talk about the crossing, you take care of my needs, I take care of yours. It all works out. But there's no care for you. There's no care for you. So it's not crossed to where everybody's okay. There's nothing for you unless you take care of yourself. And once you take care of yourself, that's when things are going to be drawn to you. It will all work out. Just take the time to heal, redirect some of the hurtful feelings. Today, I went for a walk. I tried doing my taxes, which isn't too fun, but just try to keep busy. It doesn't always get rid of that bad feeling. Sometimes you just gotta wait it out because it is like a withdrawal and it can take years sometimes. But I didn't let it get the best of me today. I did still get through it with slow motion, but objects in motion stay in motion. So even if it's slow motion, that's better than no motion. Try not to mope around on the couch. It's okay to chill on the couch, relax on the couch, but don't wallow in sorrow. Maybe watch a funny movie. You know, I couldn't listen to love songs. I don't watch TV anymore. I just have CNN on, or I don't even know. I went to CNN. I don't even know who I'm watching now, just the news. And I just really never sit in my living room. So I don't even really watch the news. It's just when I walk past, just for some noise, just some stimulation. Don't sit in silence. But I couldn't watch, and I still don't like watching love stories, not yet. I can, but they're still hard on me. Love songs are hard. I didn't like going out to the bar. I didn't like going like roller skating because of the songs they might play. So I still don't really listen. I drive from Michigan to Tennessee without the radio on at all. And that's okay. I would rather drive in silence because I'm okay with that. You know, I think a lot. I'm a teacher and I'm trying to plan new classes and I can keep my mind busy. So I would rather do that than listen to something that's going to bring me down. So just something to be aware of, that, you know, focus on what makes you happy, avoid what you're not ready for. I can go to the bars now. I can like set that aside. Over time, there'll be some transitions, some adjustments that'll make it easier. The hardest part is, you know, just why was it all wasted? You know, but it was all wasted to give you a healthier life. So I'm going to say that again. If you're wondering, why did it have to fall apart? It's so your life could get better. And hold on to that, because that's really important. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.